What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Beyond the Backboard Podcast, episode 76. My name is Omar, and next to me is Max. Again, Earl won't be here today. He had some stuff that he couldn't get out of today, but today we're going to go over a couple of things, including the Lakers on a heater, despite Luka's struggles. I mean, I really don't think he's struggling that much, but whatever. Cavs hit second double-digit win streak of the year. Can we win the championship? Coach of the year contenders. Will the Suns blow it if they miss the play-in? And Mitchell Robinson. So to start off, let's start off about the Lakers, because me and you, we got different opinions about Luka struggling, because I really think Luka's been okay, personally. I mean, I think those first few games are him just really fitting in the lineup. And obviously, you need a little more time than that. But I think he's doing pretty well. I think he's just doing what he can, especially in the time that he has to really do it.
Okay, well, allow me to counter by saying Luka's statistics went in Dallas. So basically his whole career stats, but his Dallas stats were 28.6 points per game on 47% from the field and 35% from three. Okay, Luka Doncic, really good player. Granted, it's only been 8 games with the Lakers, but when I say he's struggling, I mean that he is only averaging 22 points per game on 39% from the field and 27% from three. When you look at a player like Luka Doncic and his overall his greatness, when you're down by about 7 points per game, you're shooting less than 40% from the field, and your three-point percentage is similar to Precious Achiuwa, I would call that struggling. That is not what we've come to expect from Luka. However, I will say, obviously the Lakers are 6-2 in those 8 games or something like that, maybe even better. So Luka's individual struggles are not hurting the team. If anything, I think Luka taking a minor step back is allowing them to win. But I think objectively looking from his stats in Dallas compared to his stats in LA, you would have to say he is, quote, struggling.
And Earl is back in the chat. Luka will find his flow soon.
I'm not saying that he won't. I'm just saying right now, you can't look at me in the eyes and tell me he's playing as well here as he did in Dallas.
He didn't, but I'll tell you this. He's not, he just needs more time to fit in. That's all.
I agree. I totally agree. I'm not disagreeing with that. I think in the future he'll figure it out. Those stats will stabilize, but this is about as bad an 8-game sample size as we've ever seen from Luka Doncic. He has had some really rough outings.
Yeah, however, I'm really trying to give him that pass though, because it's just him finally fitting into a new team.
Yeah, he's never had to deal with this. I mean, but these are stats that are worse than even his rookie year stats.
I will say that Luka's defense was a bit trashed for a long time, even though it wasn't terrible. I've always been of the opinion that Luka was a mediocre defender. I've never gone out publicly and said that Luka is the worst defender I've ever seen ever. I've always thought he was pretty mediocre when it came to defense.
The only time I've really locked in and watched Luka Doncic on defense was during the finals last year, against the Celtics, in which he was absolutely horrible defensively. So
yeah, that wasn't a good.
I'll go as far as to say if that's how he usually plays defense, then he is awful, because those 5 games in the finals were pretty abysmal. Again, he was backpacking that team on offense, but his defense was awful.
Maybe this is his norm.
I certainly don't think I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say he is an average defender. I think he is at best a below average defender. Like you said, at best mediocre.
Mediocre, yeah.
But the Lakers are winning despite of it, and the Lakers defense has actually been really, really good, even with Luka on the floor and without Anthony Davis. They have been playing really, really good team defense, which is credit to JJ Redick, which is credit to guys like Jared Vanderbilt, Dorian Finney-Smith for being quote-unquote defensive anchors. But it takes all 5 to play defense. You can play great four-man defense, but someone's caught napping on a backdoor cut or something, it's going to give up 2 points. So I would say credit to the Lakers as a whole, because even without one of the best defensive players in the league in Anthony Davis and getting in a poor defender in Luka, they're still managing to clamp teams down offensively, at least in the first half. Second halves are a little different, but first half.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but yeah, I'm always going to give any player that's really been traded within the season, I'm always giving them a pass no matter what, because First of all, it's Luka's second team in how long? 5 to 8 years he's been in the league for. Like
7 years, I guess. Probably.
7 years, probably.
Like
but
7th year because he was drafted in 18. So
yeah, but what I'm saying is it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard for any player to adjust like that. So I'm personally always giving a pass to players that have been traded like kind of mid-season, only because of that particular circumstance. That's
again, I think Luka will figure it out. I think the best sign is that the Lakers are still winning games even without Luka having to backpack them.
Yeah.
It shows that the core around him is still playing really well. Shout out Austin Reeves. I've been really, really impressed with Austin Reeves. I mean, but especially as of late, I feel like he has really stepped up.
Been really well.
He's settled in. I don't even want to say a third role because there are games where he looks like the number one option offensively, and you could argue that even on a team with LeBron and Luka Doncic, he at times looks like the most capable, consistent scorer on the floor. So that's a big part to their success, especially with Luka not having the offensive efficiency you expect from him, having a guy like Reeves to just kind of step in and do whatever he is needed, whether he needs to have 35 points in a game or whether he just needs 10 or 15. Having a guy like that really contributes to winning basketball. So shout out Reeves. I know Rui's been having a great season, so shout out to him. This is the best the Lakers have looked definitely all year and probably in the last couple of years, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree with that one. Including the bubble year. So we'll see what they
won a championship. So I'm holding. I'm not.
We'll see what they can do. That's why I'm saying it. We'll see what they can do.
Yeah. Do you think they can make a legit run? Do you think a conference finals could be on the table for them? Let's put it this way: if they don't make the conference finals this year, are they disappointed?
No.
Or are you disappointed? Are you saying they underperformed if they didn't make the conference
No,
finals?
of course not. Of course not. I'm not putting that on Luka just yet because first of all, if I'm the Lakers, I'm not upset. He's still young. You at least still have one more year of LeBron. You at least still have one more year with this entire roster and probably getting improvements along the way. So I'm not really all that mad. I'm looking forward to the future if I'm the Lakers, and I'm looking forward to a more cohesive LeBron and Luka duo because while it is really cohesive at this time, it can be even better. So if I'm the Lakers, I'm not even too upset. I'm not disappointed if they don't go to the conference finals. I'm not upset if they get kicked out the second round. Like, that's just me, though. Maybe Earl feels different. Maybe everybody else in the chat feels different. But if I'm the Lakers, I'm not upset.
I would tend to agree with you on that. I think right now this year is just kind of found anything that they achieved this year is kind of just gravy. I think that team is going to be looking at specifically next year as probably their last shot with LeBron. I doubt LeBron plays past next year, and if he does, he probably won't be peak. He won't be all-star level LeBron past next year. So I think this year, without having a center, it's just kind of do as much as you can, and if you can make a deep playoff run, great. That just bodes well for next season. But I agree. I think the focus is probably at least on next season, and then even past that, if you don't get it done, you still have Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, who are very young players. So yeah, I don't think they'd be disappointed, but I don't know. I see a lot of Lakers fans in here saying they're going to win the championship. So I'm just, if they get first rounded, I don't want it to be all gloom and doom. I think that anything they can do this year is a bonus, quite frankly. Next year should be where they're really looking to make a statement.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%. Next year is more of a statement year for the Lakers. Okay. I think with that, we can move on to our next topic about the Cavaliers. Let's kind of flip this because we already know they already got their second double-digit win streak of the year already, and that's impressive within itself. But do you actually think they can make a legitimate run at the finals?
I will be totally honest with you. I think they're the favorites to come out of the East right now.
Really?
I would pick them as the favorites over the Boston Celtics. And
really?
I know it's a controversial statement. I know the Celtics are still very good. I think that it's a clear 1-2 right now in the East. If it's anything other than Cavs, Celtics in the conference finals, I would quite frankly be surprised. And Boston is so good.
What about if it's us instead? What if we manage to get our defense to the way that we had it last year with Mitchell Robinson at the forefront of that next to Cat?
I'm not going to say it's impossible. Obviously, I would love for that to happen, but I think right now the clear favorites have to be Cleveland and Boston.
I agree with you.
that they played this regular season. And I'm not going to say the Boston can't sit here and beat Cleveland in a 7-game series. They absolutely could.
And I still think
they get hot from 3. They play to the way they can. They can absolutely beat Cleveland. But I think right now, even though Boston's probably going to be looked at by a lot of people as the quote-unquote favorite, they are the defending champions. I think right now this season, Cleveland, especially with DeAndre Hunter in that lineup, and with was it Kenny Atkinson as the head coach?
Yeah, as their head coach. Yeah.
I think they have to be looked at as a favorite. They are just so complete, so well coached, disciplined. They have height, which I love the fact that they play with 2 centers. They've got good shooters now. Hunter surrounding Garland and Mitchell. You've got your 3-point shooting there. Phenomenal bench lineups with, being able to put Ty Jerome in there, Dean Wade, Sam Merrill. These are good, solid NBA players that can contribute. I don't see them struggling in the playoffs with depth at all. They just look to me, and like I said, multiple double-digit win streaks in a season. Not even I don't think the Celtics have. Maybe they've had one, but gosh, if you're just looking at this season right now, Cleveland's probably going to close out as the one seed.
Cleveland started off with like a 14-0, and now they're on a 10-0.
Yeah, no, it was more than 14-0. It was like 17 or something crazy like that, I think. So, in my mind, they are the favorites. And again, could Boston beat them? Absolutely. Could the Knicks beat them? Sure. Could Milwaukee beat them? Sure. But right now, if you're asking me who the best team in the East is and who's the favorite, it's the Cavs.
It's Cavaliers, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. In the sense of they are the favorites, but I kind of think I know how we kind of perceive the Knicks and how they're like the third team in the East, but they're also not on the upper echelon of the other 2 teams. And I get it. I can understand it. We're 0-7 against all of the teams in the top 4 teams, except Memphis, by the way. I just have to say that because we beat Memphis twice.
Well, technically the Lakers are top 4 now, so.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I agree. I mean, Memphis was like when we saw them, so whatever. Anyway, but at the same time, I think it's just the Eastern teams that we really have a problem with, and Oklahoma City. Like, that's it, personally. I mean, with all due respect to the Lakers fans up in the chat, I think we're a little fast for y'all. And that's not saying anything against you. It's just saying that you just may not be able to catch up with a lot of the Knicks players. And I get we played y'all last time and it looked really, really bad from the offensive standpoint. And I remember calling out the perimeter defense. The perimeter defense will not be a problem anymore once we see you guys. I promise you. I'm just saying. But I'm just looking forward to it. Mitchell Robinson is a really big, really, really big change. And it's going to be a really good improvement for this Knicks team. So, I mean, remember how he was able to just remember that playoff series? And I want to say 2 years ago it was in Cleveland.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and he dominated Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, both of them. So I don't see why he can't do the same. He's been doing it for years. He did it against Wembanyama when he first saw him. It's easy for him. So I can't wait.
All right. Do you have any more thoughts on the Cavs before we move on?
No. Cavs wrapped up.
All right. I guess before we go, we can go into the Coach of the Year in a minute, but I think we should touch on the breaking news that did come out this morning about Mavs star Kyrie Irving, the fact that he did suffer a torn ACL last night.
Should have started with that. You're right.
Going to be out for the season. Listen, first of all, get well soon, Kyrie. Hope the rehab is good. Hopefully he'll be back on the basketball court for next season. But if you're the Mavericks, this is why you don't trade Luka Doncic, because things like this can't happen. And now they just lost an entire year of their championship window. I think
and the pick.
Unanimous.
And the pick. Don't forget the pick.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, that's the other team. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they got a pick, but
yeah,
they went all in thinking this was their year. I think we can say with confidence this will not be their year. This Mavericks team, and I was pretty high on them, assuming they were healthy. Without Kyrie Irving, even if they get all their bigs back, they're not winning a championship with just Anthony Davis. You're not winning a championship with Spencer Dinwiddie or Derek Lively as your second best player behind AD. I don't.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. I don't think it's really feasible and in Dallas's cards to win this year. I think their main focus should just shift on next year and what they can do next year, even though they're not really in a position to make any moves, really. But
I mean, listen, could this team next year theoretically contend if they're healthy? Yes, but again, now you're looking at post torn ACL Kyrie.
Kyrie
You're looking
Irving.
at 32-year-old Anthony Davis. This
uh,
really, they were really banking that these
really
two
bad.
guys would stay healthy, and now Anthony Davis is out for at least a little while, but at least he'll probably be back before the playoffs. Kyrie out for the season. I think absolutely kills them.
I just hate when this happened. Like, ugh. I just hate the way that this happened because they traded Luka Doncic. They traded their franchise for Anthony Davis. Going on in all in on Anthony Davis coming back from injury, and then Kyrie Irving just is still doing his thing from what he was doing before. This sucks. This really sucks.
I very much do feel for Mavericks fans. I don't know.
This really sucks.
I don't know what they're thinking.
Mavericks fans
what they got to be thinking right now.
They're rioting outside the stadium right now. Get Nico Harris to safety.
Max Christie pretty good.
Yeah, Max Christie's pretty good. I'll say that. Max
pretty
Christie.
Good.
Y'all got a good one in Max Christie. But you know what? You lost another one in Quentin Grimes. 44 points the other night.
Factual. What is Caleb Martin doing for that team? Not much. Nothing. All I'm going to say.
Nothing. You know, it's crazy. I brought it up before you did.
I was curious if you were going to bring it up. I was wondering.
Nah, Quentin Grimes deserves every bit of fame that he gets. When he was with us, man, we both agreed like it was just like the amount of time that he was getting on the floor. If he gets more time, he gets more shots up. He's gonna.
That's not necessarily true because he was playing 30 minutes a night, but he was getting 2 shots thanks to Julius Randle. So
that is very true.
So I blame Randle and Tibbs for not.
I wonder how he would look with Cat.
He probably fit well with Cat. Cat passes out of double teams, so I think he would have been gosh, we could have used him right now. But I think there's 3 teams that are looking right now and saying we could use Quentin Grimes because he's been on 3 teams in the last year that all got rid of him or just didn't re-sign him.
They may. I don't think so, but I think Philly may trade him at a high.
I think this offseason. Well, he's going in. He's a free agent this offseason, so.
No, like they could still trade his contract. Oh wait, no, yes, they can't. It's past trade deadline. I'm bugging. You're right.
Yeah.
Bad. But yeah, because they just picked him up recently.
Yeah, they got him at the deadline.
Yeah, they did. They got him at the deadline.
That's like one of the few good things Philly has going on right now. But
apparently the Knicks got Marjon Beauchamp on a 2-way.
Cool. But
take Marjon. Cool.
Yeah. I think in terms, for the Mavericks, I think this feels very much like kind of the end of their season. I think they'll make the playoffs, I'm sure. I doubt they can win a playoff series without Kyrie Irving. If Anthony Davis gets them past the first round, he should just win MVP. Then he should just be anointed into the Hall of Fame right there because that team really, at least offensively, needs 2 engines. I think they need Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving to be generating 25, 30-plus points each a night in the playoffs, I think, to win. They're good enough defensively to hold up on the other end, but if you're looking at Anthony Davis to score 50 every game, it's going to be really, really hard to win more than like once in a series. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, they said defense wins championships. Maybe they'll just hold every opponent under 70 points, and they'll win games 89-85.
The infamous quote from Nico Harrison, defense wins championship.
Maybe the Max Christie defense is going to be just good enough to get them to the conference finals.
If it wasn't enough for the Lakers, it won't be enough for the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, so very unfortunate there what happened to Kyrie. I feel like it's been a little while since he's been injured.
But, I'll say this.
Problems in Brooklyn, but now they're popping up again.
Yeah, I will say this. Whoever gets traded from the Lakers, you're like 2 times more likely to be an all-star. So I will say that. Shout out Max Christie. So you did get traded, so you may be an all-star soon. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. Max Christie All-Star would be crazy, but
Julius Randle, Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo Ball wasn't an All-Star.
Oh well, not an All-Star, but like he was up there for a little while until he got injured.
Yeah. I think Lonzo
he was that glue to that Chicago Bulls team. Let's be very clear.
Absolutely, but we can also be clear and say he was not making an All-Star game even that year.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Those All-Stars probably, I think, went to Levine and DeRozan. I forget. Did the Bulls have 2 All-Stars that year? They must have had at least one.
I don't remember, to be completely honest, because I think their season ended pretty abruptly.
Yeah, once they got
they got to the first seed and then he got injured.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it was crazy because I was like, "Damn, Chicago's doing real well," and then
yeah. All right. We want to move on to Coach of the Year conversation.
All right. So you brought up one of them earlier, Kenny Atkinson. That's
yes.
Easy.
I'll let you go on about Kenny Atkinson because I know you got some takes about
Kenny Atkinson. No, I think he deserves Coach of the Year. He's definitely a really good candidate. He brought that Cavs team back to truly a contending team. Remember the Cavaliers got this really good coach last year as part of their staff. He was our.
Oh, I know what you're getting at. Okay.
Yeah, remember our guy Johnny Bryant.
Yeah.
I really think, dude. There was rumors when he moved saying like he was actually a lot of the offensive coordination on our squad. So I wonder if he just used his expertise to just apply to the Cavaliers. But regardless of what I'm trying to say is Kenny Atkinson, he's done really well. He's done a real good job of actually bringing that team together. Cavs ownership as well, bringing in DeAndre Hunter was a really good move on their part. And it's finally showing that the Cavaliers are just going fully all in on the squad. I think it's finally paying dividends. And actually, I think they were waiting for Kenny Atkinson for a while. Am I wrong, or was that different teams? It was like
I'm not sure because Kenny Atkinson he was just been an assistant these last few years, right? I want to say
he's been an assistant for the past few years, but he's also been in negotiations with like different teams to become a head coach, but never like pulled the trigger. So, on top of that, we also have to talk about somebody who's also a really good Coach of the Year candidate, and I think it's going to come down to these two, to be completely honest. Kenny Atkinson and JB Bickerstaff of the Detroit Pistons. Like,
yeah, sorry, I was thinking about Bickerstaff. I know he's the one you have strong opinions on.
I'm certain that he'll win Coach of the Year this year. Went from it's one of those situations where it works out for team and coach, because JB left, immediately took a job with the Pistons. Cavaliers found their guy, got to first place. Pistons found their guy, got to fifth place, sixth place, wherever they're at right now. I'm sorry, I'm not exactly too sure.
They're around there. They're fine.
They're around there, but and damn, listen, it's a big upgrade than Monty Williams. I've been saying this. I never really liked Monty Williams. I think he's responsible for stunting DeAndre Ayton's really potential and his overall like confidence to the game. Because whenever I see DeAndre Ayton, it's just it doesn't feel like he's into it at all. Even though they've been winning recently, it just doesn't feel. I don't know how to explain it, but
I mean, whoa! Why did my camera just turn off?
Your camera just turned off, and you, yeah, it's just your
okay.
face. Right
I mean, you can still hear me, right?
I can still hear you. Yes. You're back. Okay. Yep, you're back.
All
your
right.
Wi-Fi is
really
a little
weird.
Wonky.
All right, we good?
Yeah, we're good.
Great. All right.
Yeah, what were you gonna say?
I agree. I think Bickerstaff is he's got to be up there. He's definitely top two. I think you named two of the three favorites between Atkinson and Bickerstaff. Obviously, I don't think anyone expected Cleveland to be the 1 seed this far into the season, and with like a 4-game, 5-game buffer on the Boston Celtics, who everyone said was unbeatable.
Mm-hmm.
I think that by itself puts him in that conversation. Bickerstaff, obviously what he's doing with the Pistons, you just spoke about it. I'll throw another name out there. I'll throw Taylor Jenkins' name in the ring with the Grizzlies.
Memphis?
Memphis this year has, I feel like, really I don't even want to say taken a step, because we have seen this core of John Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bane do this before 2 years ago when they were all healthy. We saw them run through the regular season like this, but just coming off such a poor year last year where everyone was hurt, there was drama, there was controversy, they were rolling out G League guys in their starting lineup. To be able to rebound from that so quickly and so seamlessly, like this team absolutely hit the ground running this year. And they're still, I believe, they're third or fourth in the West right now, but they could easily end up 2 or 3. The fact that they are in that conversation with the Lakers, the Nuggets, only really behind OKC firmly in the standings. I don't think anyone saw this from Memphis. I know in the preseason, in our BTB preseason predictions, I heavily slept on them, but I mean, you guys were saying Memphis should be like 5th or 6th, and that's better than what I had them at, fair enough, but like even the believers, or quote unquote believers in Memphis, I don't think saw them contending for a top 3 seed in the West come playoff time. And right now, if you told me Memphis is going to make a deep conference finals run, I wouldn't disagree with you. The fact that this coach, that them under Taylor Jenkins, has also realized the talent of a lot of these kind of farther down the bench guys like Jake LaRavio, Luke Kennard, Jay Huff, Gigi Jackson. These players have bloomed under Taylor Jenkins. So I think you've also got to look at that, not just the record of the team, but also have they discovered new talent. That Memphis plays a deeper rotation than anyone in the NBA, and I think a lot of that is credit to Coach Jenkins and his ability to instill confidence in young players, put them in situations where they're going to succeed, develop their talents, push them to new heights. So for that reason, I would say that Taylor Jenkins should absolutely be in the conversation. I'm not saying he should be the favorite. I'm not saying he would get my vote to win, but top 3, I think, is absolutely justified for that guy. He has done wonders for that franchise.
Yeah. Now, you make solid points. I actually agree with that. Taylor Jenkins has been really good for that squad. What was the last coach before he was there?
I mean, he's actually been there a decently long time. I think this is his 5th or 6th year with Memphis. It feels like just yesterday he got there, but he's been in Memphis for a while. I'm trying to think who their coach was before this. I
want to say if it was 5 or 6 years ago, then it's probably David Fizdale.
It may have been. I will check you on that. I'll double check that. But
it may have been. So if it was that long ago, because I'm pretty sure that's how long ago David Fizdale was. Like, I think he was on the Knicks like a year later or 2.
Let's see. It was actually JB Bickerstaff for 3 years.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah. So the other guy we're talking about for head coach conversation, from 2017 to 2019. They went 48 and 97 under Bickerstaff, a whopping 33% win percentage. No wonder they fired him.
Damn.
But I mean, like Omar said, I think JB's plenty happy where he's at right now in a prime position to win Coach of the Year. So I guess maybe it was a win-win-win because now Memphis has a coach that can win Coach of the Year. And now JB's on a team that he's got them overperforming. I think we could all agree that Detroit, being a top 5 team in the East, is absolutely not where anyone had them going into this season. But they're overperforming, and Bickerstaff, he's in a good spot right now, I'd say. So win-win, I guess.
Like I said, win-win situation for that squad, and then Cleveland as well. Kenny Atkinson.
Yeah, man. Back to remember the Dave Yeager days. Dave Yeager in Memphis.
Yeah. Oh, was that Mike Conley and Pau Gasol?
Yeah, that was like Marc Gasol. He was their coach for 4 years, from 2013 to 2016.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I remember that. Yes.
They won 60% of their games under Dave Yeager.
And
he's statistically the most successful head coach in Grizzlies history if you just look at regular season win percentage.
Damn.
They also went 22-9 in the playoffs under him. So very, very respectable. Honestly, I forgot that Dave Yeager was that good of a coach. I don't think he got another job after that, surprisingly.
Yeah. Remember David Blatt?
Yes, he was the guy before Tyronn Lue. That's unfortunately a lot of...
Yeah, which was pretty weird because I'm pretty sure he was like a really respected coach in EuroLeague. And then he came to the NBA, did like 1 or 2 years, and then dipped. I don't know how.
Yeah, I can check that. See, but yeah, I remember obviously I think he was LeBron's first coaching. Well, first coach in Cleveland after LeBron came back. He was the first coach of the Kyrie, Kevin Love, LeBron Cavs.
Yeah, he was when he first
Then
got
Ty Lue stepped back in, and obviously the rest is history. What's David Blatt been up to lately?
Okay.
Yeah.
Fired
very
from the Cavs.
successful coach in European basketball. Yeah, Cleveland Cavaliers from 2014 to 2016, and that's it.
All right. Yeah, damn. I mean,
So yeah, he got one shot in the NBA, got fired, and then watched LeBron go win a championship with Ty Lue.
great. I like that.
Yeah, so
that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Shout out Dave Yeager.
Dave Yeager. Shout out Dave
Yeager. I forgot that they were that good under Dave Yeager. I mean, obviously they got themselves a good head coach now, but dang, they probably fired him a year or two too early, considering they went from him to Fizdale and then some terrible years under Bickerstaff.
Yeah. Fizdale wasn't great either. All right. We remember Fizdale.
They downgraded from Yeager to Fizdale and then went from Fizdale to Bickerstaff. Sorry. They downgraded from Yeager to Bickerstaff and then Bickerstaff to Fizdale. And so
remember when we went from Mike Woodson to what was his name? Was it David Fizdale? No.
Oh my gosh, you're such a casual.
No way. Wait. What was his name? I'm so stupid.
You're such a
I'm so stupid. What was his name?
You're missing two coaches.
I'm sorry?
You're missing three coaches. Oh, sorry, wait, you're missing two coaches between Mike Woodson and David Fizdale. Casual.
Wait, hold on. I gotta look this up because I remember faces. I don't remember names.
It was Derek Fisher and then Jeff Hornacek.
You're right. Oh my God, Jeff Hornacek. I remember Derek Fisher. I thought he was a little later though. No,
we went from Woodson to Derek Fisher.
Okay, yeah, because freaking Phil Jackson wanted to do triangle offense. Yeah, I'm still convinced to this day that he only went in there to sabotage the Knicks. Like that's the only reason.
I don't know if that was his intention, but he did a pretty good job of it.
I think it definitely was. I think it definitely
whether it was intentional or not, you did a pretty good job. Whether you intend to take a bad shot or not, as Paul George once said, a bad shot's a bad shot.
Hold on. Did you just say he did a pretty good job?
Of sabotaging the Knicks, I'd say so.
Okay, good. Okay, I really thought he
did. Whether his intention was to sabotage the Knicks or not, he did a pretty good job of it.
Oh man. Okay, I thought you said the opposite. I thought you said he did a pretty good job.
No. He did.
I was like, bro, we're talking about the guy that drafted Frank Ntilikina over Donovan Mitchell. What are we doing?
Any other coaches that you'd like to throw their name into the ring for Coach of the Year? Obviously, I think we've gone over. I would say the three favorites, but
I mean, I'm always going to throw in Tom Thibodeau. I don't think he's going to win, but I'm taking him out. He doesn't listen. Never mind. You don't listen to him.
I'll throw Udoka in there. He has that Rockets team playing some of the most intense physical defense of any team in the league. We've talked about Udoka on this show before, but he is one of the few examples where you can really see the difference that it's like you go from one head coach to another and instantly things just change. The entire culture of the team changes. That Rockets team went from a team that was at the bottom of the league, very few hopes for, facing a very long rebuild, probably years before they were going to be in any sort of good position. And now Ime Udoka comes in and we're halfway through year two of his tenure, and they could legitimately be a top 4 seed in the Western Conference. I mean, they just pushed the OKC Thunder yesterday, fully healthy from what I'm aware. I mean, Jalen Williams is playing. SGA dropped 50 on him. Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hartenstein. They pushed a fully healthy OKC Thunder to the end of the game with guys that I've respectfully never heard of in my life. Jalen Green didn't play the fourth quarter because these guys were balling that well. They did not have Van Vliet. They did not have Jabari Smith. They did not have
Reed Shepherd was balling.
And Reed Shepherd was balling.
Cam Whitmore was balling.
This Rockets team is good, and they play. They play defense. They play tough. They play physical, but they also play fast. When you got guys like Amon Thompson wasn't even in the game either. I forgot about that. But when you have guys like Amon Thompson on the floor, Jalen Green, they play fast, but they also play physical. And I think you can tie that directly to Ime Udoka's coaching. That's always been his MO as a coach, even when he was the Celtics head coach.
Yeah.
That's his brand of basketball. That's his style. So I think Ime Udoka's style definitely shines through with the Rockets. And they're another team like Detroit where I don't think many of us even have them making the play-in this year. The fact that they could legitimately lock in as a top 3 or 4 seed in a stacked Western Conference with one of the youngest rosters in the entire league, I think that's worthy of a shout. Again, maybe not the favorite, but shoot, we'd be remiss if we didn't at least mention Udoka.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually a really good. That's a really good take. Ime Udoka should be in the.
Yeah, maybe next year. Maybe next year if the Rockets take another.
Do you think the Celtics regret? Do you think the Celtics regret firing him, or was it kind of just you don't think so? It did work out, right? But I mean, it only worked out because I feel like Joe Mazzulla kind of rode that coattail a little bit.
No. Okay, that's a terrible take. Mazzulla transformed the way. I mean, listen, Mazzulla did inherit a very good team. I will give you that, but he got them over the hump, which maybe Udoka would have done, but I think it worked out. You can't.
I think one more year of Udoka would have done that.
Well, they don't. I mean, maybe. Listen, if you give Udoka a team with Porzingis and Holiday, because remember, he got fired right before they made those acquisitions.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
If you give him that team, do they still probably win last year?
Yeah.
I think there's a very good chance, but the fact that they did win and Mazzulla has them in a very good spot right now, he's got, they're setting records in terms of three-point shooting and volume. And I think Mazzulla has also stamped his authority in his unique kind of style of, high volume three-point shooting, floor spacing, mismatch hunting. That style.
I think it's the same style as Udoka, though.
No, they're totally opposite styles. Udoka is a hard-nosed defensive coach, play physical, run in transition.
Are we talking about the same team?
What are you talking about?
The Celtics are defensive-centric. What are you talking about?
No, they're a good defensive team. I'm not going to sit here and say they're not a good defensive, but their identity is their 5-out, high-volume three-point shooting offense. They shoot.
And while I agree with you, I also have to say they double as like a defensive team. That's their shtick.
Their shtick is offense. I'm not going to say they're bad defensively, but
dude, when I think of the Celtics, I think of more of the two-way players and the two-way abilities with Jalen Green and Drew Holiday.
Obviously, they have those abilities, but their culture as a team is we're going to three-point shoot you to death.
We're going
to drive you out. We're going to run a high pick and roll. You're going to switch, and we're either going to give it to Tatum in the post with a small guy, or we're going to hit you for an open three. There's a reason why they shoot 63 pointers a game. Like, they are very distinct in the way that they play 5-out. Again, they're not a bad defensive team. I'm not saying that. But when you think of the Celtics, you fear their offense. You think of or at least I feel like everyone other than you does. Maybe you think of their defense. But I don't see how you look at a team that shoots 63 points a game and take 25 of them as a defensive team.
Drew Holiday is like one of the only guys that could really contain Jalen Brunson. So maybe that's why I think about that.
Yeah. I mean, let's see. NBA, I'm going to look up what teams shoot the most three-pointers this year.
It's going to be the Celtics. You're probably right.
Yeah, but like even by what margin?
I mean, it's probably not even by a large margin. Like, let's be real.
Which NBA team shoots the most threes? Okay, well, this is just looking at the amount of threes they've made. Yeah, they've made over 100 more threes than the next highest team on the list.
That's
second place in the NBA in most three-pointers made are the Cavs at 974. The Celtics have 974 to 1,084.
Oh, damn.
They take way more threes.
Okay.
So
if it's only you said it was like 100 before, so if it was only 100, that's not a huge differential. That
is a crazy But below them, the 100. Okay, so if you look
as
at
a team, though, you have to think like as a team, though.
Yeah, there's 5 other teams. Okay, Omar.
As a team.
5.
Go for it. Sorry.
The top 5 in three-pointers made is 922, 935, 968, 974, and then 1,084. If you look at teams within 100 threes of the Cavs below them, that's like 5 to 6 more teams.
And for some reason, I hate this type of basketball.
You can look even their averages as well.
I hate that type of basketball. Like, that's so annoying.
Okay, but that doesn't mean it doesn't still happen. Like, that is the Celtics style of basketball. I mean, okay, here's 3-pointers made on average if you want to look at pure average. Timberwolves make 14.9 threes per game. Golden State makes 15.3. Bulls make 15.9. Cavs, second in the league at 16.2. The Celtics, 17.8. They shoot more threes than anyone else. They make more threes than anyone else. That is how they play the game. You can like it or not, but that is their identity.
That's
versus
crazy.
The Rockets. Where are the Rockets on 3-pointers made? The Rockets they're not even in the top 25 in average. StatMuse is only showing me the top 25 teams in 3-pointers made per game. The Rockets aren't even in the top 25. They're bottom 5 in made 3-pointers. Their identity is defense, transition hoops.
That's crazy, Max. That's crazy, man. It
is. I mean, listen, it is crazy, but that's the Missoula effect. Missoula's got that team playing this unique high-volume 3-point way, and it's working. But you can also play the way that the Rockets do, which is shoot no threes and win on defense and fast breaks. And they're both very good teams. So it shows that both styles can work.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Anyone else you want to shout for Coach of the Year?
Yeah. I think I'm good. What about you?
I think that's probably – I think we went over the heavy hitters. I mean, obviously you could throw Mark Dagnall's name in there. I feel bad not mentioning him. I mean, but
he should.
Quite frankly, he won it last year. I think he's not doing an any worse job this year than he did last year, but there are some teams that are just –
He's also not doing any better. He's also kind of doing the same, so it's not –
he's doing – Coach of the Year – call it Coach of the Year fatigue, but – this is what we expected the Thunder to do. Maybe it's just Coach of the Year fatigue, but like he was deserving of it last year. I absolutely think he was the right man for the award last year. Think it was the right call. This year he can let someone else win it. This can be a Bickerstaff year or a Taylor Jenkins or a Kenny Atkinson year. I think give it to one of those guys that have really stepped up.
It's definitely an East Coast.
The Thunder that have kind of maintained.
Definitely an East Coast team. I gotta say, definitely an East Coast team. But all right, let's move on to the next topic. To a West Coast team, will the Suns blow it up if they miss the play-in tournament? Max, I'll let you have the floor for this one.
All right, I do not. Well, first of all, will they miss the play-in? I guess I'll answer that first. It doesn't look good. It really doesn't look good. They've fallen behind in the standings. They're, I think, a good 3.5, 4.5 out of 10th with 20-ish games left. So they're going to have to turn it up and make a run. Maybe you look at Dallas right now, considering the Kyrie injury. Maybe you look at Dallas as a team that can fall out. I think they're only, let me check. How many games behind Dallas are they? They're 4.5 behind Dallas for the 10th spot. So maybe you look at the Mavericks as an opportunity, but making up 5 games in a 20-game sample size is going to be hard, even though the Mavericks are very, very hobbled with injuries right now. So if they do make it, I don't see them getting any higher than 10th, which means they'd have to win both play-in games to make the playoffs. I think right now, in all likelihood, they will miss it. I'm not going to say they will 100%, but I would say that's the betting odds right now, is that you're looking at a year where the Suns had Kevin Durant, had Devin Booker, had Bradley Beal, brought in a new head coach, brought in Tyus Jones, high expectations. If they don't make the play-in, I don't see how they go this summer without making a drastic move. Maybe if they're able to make the play-in and go into the playoffs and win a game in the first round, maybe that's enough to convince them to give it one more try, but straight up not even getting in the top 10, that surely will be cause for a move, whether that's finally getting rid of Bradley Beal and finding a place for him to be moved, finding a place he wants to be, to waive that no trade clause, whether that is getting Durant off this team and trying to recoup as many draft picks and assets for Durant as you can, or maybe it's even the nuclear option. Maybe it's the Devin Booker trade. I know I would assume that's the guy they least want to move.
I don't think Devin Booker wants to be another part of a rebuild, so I honestly think...
I don't think he does either. They might not have a choice. I mean, how much... Yeah. You might not be able to get a Bradley Beal trade if he just doesn't want to waive his no trade clause and you're not trading him.
Yeah, how much you screwed yourself.
7-year-old Kevin Durant, that's a question. I think Booker is your most attractive asset, and maybe the guy who's going to say, I'm out first. I know he really likes it in Phoenix, but like you said, does he want to sit through another rebuild? I don't know. So
No, he does not. Definitely doesn't.
I think a massive trade will have to happen.
But who could pick up Devin Booker, right? Let's think about this because I'm speaking factually here. This is factual. This is not me bringing up the Knicks out of bias. The Knicks were in the sweepstakes for a minute because they were looking for an all-star. Do the Knicks make a push at Devin Booker, or do the Knicks kind of stay put where they're at?
I think there's other teams that are probably more desperate to get a superstar that would call about Devin Booker. I mean, does Golden State call and see they did give up a decent amount for Jimmy, but maybe this is the Kuminga, Brandon Pajimski, Moses Moody, Kevon Looney, all the picks they got left package. Maybe that's it. I don't even know if that money would match, but I mean, maybe Golden State says we're just going to pair Jimmy Butler, Devin Booker, Steph Curry for a year or two, and we're just going to roll it. Maybe that's their plan. Could be. I don't know. So maybe Golden State calls. I don't know. You could also, who else could call about Booker? Maybe the Pacers, random team. Do the Pacers call, you think? You don't think so?
Yeah. The Pacers should call.
I think they could. I mean, they have a decent amount of young players. I mean, they got maybe they moved Siakam in that deal. Maybe
you can move Ben Mathurin in that deal too. That's probably a bigger piece in that deal as well.
Mathurin, Miles Turner, Jarace Walker, and picks. Yep. I mean, again, is that what would Booker even go for? Surely a player like Devin Booker in his prime is going to go for at least 4 firsts, 3 firsts. You would.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like the Luka trade kind of reset the market a little bit.
I don't think it did. I mean, I feel like everyone acknowledges that was an outlier. I think everyone's acknowledging that Nico Harrison got finessed. I mean, De'Aaron Fox got more picks than that. So, and De'Aaron Fox is not a better player than Luka Doncic. So, I think if De'Aaron Fox can get more than that, I don't think that's a trade resetter. I don't think.
I don't know. I guess maybe that's true.
Less than 3.
I think it's affected it a little bit, but I definitely do think, like, even if you threw like Aaron Nesmith in that deal, which you probably could, and with like 2 or 3 first round picks, I feel like that could get it done for the Pacers. Orlando could use a guy like Devin Booker.
Orlando would be a good shout. I like Orlando for that.
Orlando would be a great place for Devin Booker to be. The Clippers.
Let me look at let me see what Devin Booker said. Okay, so Booker's making about 50 mil. It's 49.2. We'll just say 50.
Would have to trade Jalen Suggs for him to get to Orlando.
Absolutely.
You would have to trade Jalen Suggs, and that might take a toll on them because we already know how they are on defense, and it's because of Jalen Suggs. That's why they're like that.
True. I mean, fair enough. That is true. Just going to look at the Magic's. Well, let's see what they've got in terms of contracts.
Yeah. Pull up the trade machine with you.
I mean, they have. So let's say they're giving up Jalen Suggs in this deal. Suggs makes. Oh gosh, this is only their current year. I'm trying to see their next year. Who's going to be on a contract for this upcoming year? Suggs is going to be on the first year of a $35 million extension. So there's most of it. If you move Suggs, maybe throw Anthony Black in there along with like Tristan Da Silva or Jet Howard, that basically gets.
Believe it or not, I think you Okay, so you do Jalen Suggs.
I think you would have to give up more young. I think you would have to go up Anthony Black and either Da Silva or Jet Howard because you want young players if you're Phoenix. So
you know what I also want if I'm Phoenix. I'm putting in Anthony Black. I'm putting in Kentavious Caldwell-Pope.
Well, that greatly inflates the money because then Phoenix would have to give up someone else. Just Suggs and Pope puts you over Booker's salary.
Just Suggs and Pope put me over Booker's salary. That's it.
Yeah, I mean Pope's making $20 million. So
it says, I put the wrong person in there. That's crazy. I put Bradley Beal instead of Devin Booker for a second. And it was like 50 million. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. Do you think the Thunder would call about Devin Booker just for fun? just to see.
Just for fun?
Just for fun. Just like, could Sam Presti call and be like, what if I just threw you 8 first-round picks and, like, some salary fills? Could we do that? Like, theoretically? Could the Thunder do that?
Or...
I mean, that would be crazy. That would be championships for days if they made it. Somehow.
What if Denver happened to call? Michael Porter Jr.
Denver's second apron, so as long as they're second apron, they're not
Michael Porter Jr., Zeke Naji.
That would you can't unless they find a way to get under the second apron offs in the summer. Then
I mean, well, Michael Porter and Zeke Naji by themselves get this trade done on paper.
You can't trade both them together, Omar. They're over the second apron.
You have to match. My brother, you have to match it.
No, you can't aggregate contracts when you're in the second apron. It has to be 1-for-1s. That's why they didn't make a trade at the deadline, because they can't. They can only do straight swaps. So unless they get under the second apron, they physically can't make any sort of big trade.
Hold on 2 seconds, because I'm pretty sure the salaries match. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Michael Porter Jr. does not make $50 million.
He makes 35, and then Zeke Naji makes 8.
Dog, you can't put 2 players in the trade. That's what I'm telling you.
Oh, you're saying that? Okay, then okay. Then
Phoenix
would have to throw in one of their 1-year guys: TT Washington, Gillespie, Bridges.
No, but you can't. Omar, it's 35. You cannot. Denver cannot trade multiple players at once if they are over the second apron. They would have to trade a player who is exactly $50 million in salary for Booker.
Oh my God, that's annoying, huh?
Yeah, that's why you don't want to be over the second apron, because then you basically can't do anything unless you find a straight up contract swap. That's why you don't want to be over the second apron.
Well, wait, hold on. Phoenix can't take it, or Denver?
No, Denver can. Denver cannot do multiplayer trades if they're over the second apron.
So they can't trade 2 players to go and get Devin Booker.
They would have just traded Michael Porter Jr. and Zeke Naji at the deadline if they could have. I'm pretty sure. But your second apron.
I mean...
That's tough. That's tough for them.
I mean...
What do you mean?
I mean... Do you see what I'm saying?
I'm aware your little like ESPN trade machine can do it, but that does not real life. That's not how that works. The trade machine doesn't have second apron built into it.
I don't know. It might.
Trust me, Omar, it doesn't. They are a second apron team. Do you really think they would have not traded Zeke Naji and Michael Porter at this deadline?
I think they didn't consider the possibility of moving Michael Porter Jr. yet.
Dog.
Dude, you gotta be. I mean, they're probably still riding off that high, man. I mean, like, I don't know. But
all right, the second apron teams. Okay, there's 3. According to this, there are 3 second apron teams in the league. Oh, sorry, there's 5 second apron teams in the league currently. It's Boston, Phoenix, New York, Minnesota, and Milwaukee.
Okay.
So those 5 teams cannot offer multiple players in a trade. That is how the second apron works. So
it has to be 1-for-1.
I think you could also. I think you could get 1-for-2s. So let's say Denver was to trade Michael Porter Jr. for a guy making $20 million and $15 million. I think that would work, but you can't offer multiple contracts in a trade. So they can't do Michael Porter and Zeke Naji. So those teams are basically banned from getting big name players unless they get. I mean, they could get under the second apron. I'm sure there's ways to get under the second apron. Cut guys, salary dump, whatever. And but as of right now, they're a second apron team. So
all right, no problem.
Listen, take it up with Adam Silver. This is his idea.
Let's explore the possibility of him going. Oh wait, I don't have it up here. Let's explore the possibility of him going to Oklahoma City. What would happen? What would have to happen?
Shoot. I mean, let me
Aaron
get the
Wiggins, Isaiah Joe.
That's not enough, surely. I mean, let me pull up the Thunder.
No, it's definitely not enough. I'm just. That's only 22 million, approximately, probably a little more.
Well, I mean, just in terms of value, like straight up value, I think you're probably having a trade.
Well, think about it like this: the Thunder have a lot of guys that are like 2-year, 3-year deals.
They do, yeah, and they're gonna have
Nikola Topic is the only 4-year guy.
They're gonna have to pay these guys eventually. Do you just say? I think if they get Devin Booker, they'd have to part with either Chet Holmgren or Jalen Williams. I don't think the Suns do it.
Well, the Jalen Williams only making $4 million, brother.
Yeah,
so that really wouldn't make sense. I think it would have to be closer to probably that.
You're probably putting in Hartenstein, Lou Dort, and either Chet Holmgren or Jalen Williams.
Does this work or no? I don't think it works. It technically works.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, that just tells
you would have to throw in. I mean, listen. If you tag this along with like 5 picks,
I don't think they're taking a trade for.
I think Phoenix goes all in, throws 5 or 6 picks along with this deal, and says, "F it, let's go get Devin Booker and win a championship." Why not?
I mean, I'm sure the Thunder would love to do that. I just don't see a world where Devin Booker gets traded and the best player you're getting is Isaiah Joe.
Well,
Devin. I mean,
first of all, Lou Dort is definitely the best player in this deal. Second of all, you have a guy in Aaron Wiggins who's been really, really good for them for the past a year and a half.
None of these dudes are Devin Booker. They're not even close to Devin Booker.
I mean, dude, it only took Bojan Bogdanovic to get the Knicks to get Mikal Bridges.
I'm aware of that, but that's
but it took 4 picks, right? It took 4 first-round picks. 5. So why is it not the same?
Because do you think the difference between Devin Booker and Mikal Bridges is Lou Dort and Aaron Wiggins? That's the difference in value, is that?
Do you think the difference in skill between Mikal Bridges and Bojan Bogdanovic is the same? Like, what are you asking here? If you tag along 5-6 picks along with this freaking deal, which Oklahoma could definitely do, and retain the 9 extra million.
I'm saying Phoenix says no. I don't think Phoenix takes that. They're saying
I think Phoenix is desperate enough to take this.
I don't see a world where Phoenix takes any trade where they're not getting at least a good player back.
I don't see another team offering them 5 picks in a deal where you're getting Lou Dort, one of the best 3-point shooters in the league, Isaiah Joe, and then Aaron Wiggins, a prospect. If they're not
contending, then who cares about these guys? They want younger guys.
These guys are young. What are we talking
relatively
about?
Young, but like they want a Chet or a J-Dub, I think. I don't think they're dealing with the Thunder if those 2 names aren't involved. And then maybe you can say, okay, give us J-Dub, Chet, some salary, and like 3 firsts.
25. Okay, maybe 25. Lou Dort's 25. Hold on. Lou Dort's 25. Isaiah Joe is 25.
25. Okay, they're moderate. They're entering their prime.
And Aaron Wiggins is 26. And then Devin Booker, he's 28.
I don't know.
You're getting younger.
I'm undervaluing those picks, but I don't think Phoenix would do a trade where they're not getting an all-star caliber player back.
I'm telling you, if you're getting 5 picks along with this deal, yes. Because I don't see another team offering 5 picks for Devin Booker with 3 players along with it. As good as Lou Dort, Isaiah Joe, and Aaron Wiggins. Guys that can come off the bench and produce for you immediately.
But they don't want immediate production if they're rebuilding. They want a tank. They want.
And those are perfect guys for that too. Because guess what? The most that one of them averages is 10 points a game, and that's Lou Dort.
But you're saying like they value them as like players to contribute now. They don't care in this scenario. They don't care about contributing now. They're caring about trying to win in 5 years. When Lou
you're trying to find every way out of this L that you're about to. No, I'm playing. No, I'm playing. But like, I'm serious though. Like, why not? Because this is literally like This is bar for bar, word for word, kind of the same deal that the Knicks did with the Brooklyn Nets to get Mikal Bridges. It took more picks.
But Devin Booker is not even in the same stratosphere as Mikal Bridges. Devin Booker is a borderline top 10 player in basketball.
And can we all say abruptly that was an overpay for Mikal Bridges?
Exactly. So
what are you saying? We paid.
If Bridges' value is even lower than that, and it took 5 picks to
it's not lower than that. That's what we're saying. It's not.
If you're saying it's an overpay, you're saying his value is.
I'm saying that's the right price for Mikal Bridges. I'm saying we paid a Devin Booker price for Mikal Bridges.
You said it was an overpay.
I agree with you. I'm saying we paid a Devin Booker price for a Mikal Bridges.
I don't think that's a Devin Booker. I mean, Rudy Gobert went for 5 firsts.
Okay, and what else did they get in that deal?
What was that?
What else did they get in that deal?
I don't know. McDaniels, Conley, I guess.
Okay. Look at this trade. It's
for what the Suns need. I don't think they say yes to this, but maybe I'm wrong.
Saying this, if you're adding 5 or 6 picks to the deal,
maybe
the trade becomes much easier.
Maybe 6. Maybe it's 6. They say, fine, we'll take it. If they're 6 unprotected, like good picks. But if they're like fantasy first, that are just going to dissolve in a second.
No, we're not talking about fantasy first. We're talking about real life first picks that could change a franchise.
All right, well, maybe Phoenix would say yes to that. Comment down below, guys.
I think Phoenix says yes to 5 firsts, Lou Dort, Isaiah Joe, and Aaron Wiggins. Let me know what you guys think in the chat.
Let us know what you think Phoenix would do in that. And if you have any other comments on today's show, again, leave them down below. We appreciate everyone for tuning in for this episode of the Beyond the Backboard podcast live on playback. As always, we'll be here. Tuesdays, we'll be here. Fridays, come check us out. We'll have a 2-minute drill episode dropping towards the end of the week as well. Appreciate everyone for watching. This is Max. This is Omar. Again, Earl will be back with us soon. Have a good week, everybody. We'll see y'all very, very shortly for another episode of Beyond the Backboard. Adios.
Peace.